Howdy, howdy, howdy. I am going to check and make sure that my audio is working. Yes, it is. Well, surprise, surprise, surprise. Hopefully everybody is doing good this evening. I am going to make a tote bag. And this tote bag is the easiest tote bag I have come across yet. Hey, Unbiased. Hey, Precious Pieces and Porgy Town. Hey, David. Hopefully, everybody's doing good. I was going to come on way earlier and do this, but I didn't know Maryland and it was going live. I missed that memo. So I was like, I'll wait. And then I went to Walmart because of somebody named Shay Shay to see if the Walmart 20 minutes from me, well, is it 20 or 30? 30 minutes from me to see if they had the fabric on the boat, and they did not. Hurt my little raggedy feelings. So they had the fabric, they had 1 yard in the thing, but they didn't have the bolt. So, y'all, this is, well, it's a tote bag. This is going to be the easiest tote bag ever, honestly. It really is. Um, and even if you mess up, even if you make a mistake on this bag, people really aren't going to be able to tell. That's how easy and cute this bag is. So let me show you how I made it. Well, let me show you the one that I made. And I actually did mess up, but I didn't mess up. I just want my handle to be shorter. Hey, everybody. So this is the tote bag, and it's made out of bandanas. And I just rushed through this bag. The handle is super long. I rushed through the bag because I wanted to see just how fast I could make it. And the part that took the longest was the handles. Now, there's a couple of ways we can polish this off. We can put in a liner because I don't have a liner in this. You don't have to have a liner because a tote bag is for toting and it doesn't have to have a liner. But look at the bandanas, y'all. Oh my gosh. So I bought these bandanas just for this project probably a month or so ago. It was before I went to the hospital. So I've been wanting to do this project with y'all for a minute and haven't been able to. So I'm going to show y'all. This is easy, 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 easy to do. Okay. So if you go to Hobby Lobby, for whatever reason, right now, Hobby Lobby has tons and tons and tons of colors of bandanas for 99 cents a piece. And you get 3 colors. They can all be the exact same color. They can be 3 different colors. They can be 2 of the same and 1 of a whatever you want. Doesn't matter. But you start with bandanas. Okay. Now this is going to be step by step. This is hopefully not going to be too long of a video. This is just strictly to get together real quick and have fun. I didn't even iron the other bag at all. If I had have taken my time and ironed, it would have turned out even cuter, I think. But I did not. I did not. So I didn't press anything. So a bandana, you guys. Now you can follow along with this if you want to, and I can give you a minute. But you can follow along with this by just using regular fabric, but the effect is different because bandanas are super cute. So the fabric, if you were to just practice and use fabric, it's a 21 by 21 square is what this is. So 24 by 20, sorry, 21 by 21 square. Miss Nene Designs girl. Girl, when I tell you, when I saw this thing, and what makes it so bad, the chick that video that I saw, she was going so super fast and explaining how to, I mean, she was just, it was a reel. So she was just showing not step by step, so it went super quick. But because I love tote bags and love making bags, I kind of knew the basics. So I just kind of followed along and said, I'm going to show you guys step by step so you don't have to struggle. But you get your 3 bandanas, and you'll find out that they're not going to line up absolutely perfectly. That is okay. I know, unbiased, I ain't ironed nothing on that first bag, and I really didn't intend to iron anything with this one either, just to show you guys how easy peasy mac and cheesy this bag is. You don't even have to do all that extra stuff because especially if you're not lining it, this material is, like quilters cotton, so it's kind of like, I don't want to say floppy, but it's a floppy material, so the bag is just like a casual bag. It's not, like your Coach or your Kate Spade. You know what I'm saying? This is strictly for being cute and bopping around and maybe carrying to the beach, maybe carrying some groceries home, something. That's what this bag is for. It's not going to be perfect. Okay, so as you see, it's not lining up perfectly. That's okay. It doesn't have to. Even when we stitch this, it's not going to stitch perfectly. That's okay. It doesn't have to. Okay, so put a thumbs up in the chat if it will mess with you and you prefer that I iron this before we stitch it. Because I know some people are like, oh my God, please. It's a trigger. Okay, Shay said it's a trigger to not iron. Okay. Who else has a trigger for the non-ironing folks? I don't want to trigger nobody. I'll go ahead and press it, but I wasn't going to. I didn't press the handles. I pressed absolutely nothing with that first bag. Let me switch cameras while that heats up and show y'all this bag from the front. This bag is so, yes, you did, Shay. So here's the bag. Look at how, so to me, the handle was too long, and I'm going to make the handle shorter, but I'll show you how to do that. So don't worry about that part. But here's the bag. It's like super, super cute, you know? And it's easy to put a liner in. I did not line this one. So it's completely, you can see the stitches and everything. You see I didn't trim any stitches because that's just how quickly I worked this bag up. It's imperfect, right? So if you're like me and like I don't quilt because I'm so particular. I like for stuff to be lined up just so, but with this bag, it's not lined up just so. My stuff is not perfectly lining up, but you can't, I mean, who's looking at that? Because you're looking at the bandanas and how cute the bandanas are, right? Like, is the first thing you notice that it's not lined up? Doubt it. So this is what it looks like. Now, if we were to line it, it would finish out a lot neater, but I'm gonna show you the other thing that I like about using bandanas um, over at the cutting table. I'm gonna show you the other thing I like about why the bandanas is such a good fit for this. And it's because bandanas have a finished rolled edge. So you don't have raw fabric up here at the top. You don't, so that part makes the bag look kind of neater where you don't have to do very much. It's already finished up at the top for you. So I love it. I love it. I love it. I love this project. Okay, so the Cricut. Oh, you know what? I could have used the iron. Y'all trying to make me bust out like the real iron. Shay, why you doing this to me? Especially when a helper don't like iron. Okay. I'll press it some. Probably should press it on the wrong side. Because I should have got my steam iron going, but I don't use it much. So hey, Angel B. No press back there. No, I didn't press nothing with that first bag. I was like, book it. We finna just sew it. But I can understand why it would trigger, and so I don't want to do that. especially since it doesn't take super long to press somewhat press out some of these creases. I don't have like this isn't steam, so of course the creases aren't going to be pressed out completely. And I could use the heat press, but I really don't want to heat that thing up right now. So, okay. There's a little bit of press for the first one. Does that look better? It looks better. Yay. All right. So there's that one. Let's do this one. Yeah, the bandana bag is just like the bee's knees. I am super excited about this because it's so easy. So if you're a beginner sewer, like baby beginner, like all you know is just barely how to thread the machine and make sure there's a bobbin in there, then this will work for you. If you were worried about your sewing project coming out perfect, this is the project for you because the sewing, this doesn't have to be perfect at all. You can make it perfect. Now, I will say that, for those who are perfectionists and they want it to be just so, yes, you can take your time, you can line everything up, you can square everything up and blah, 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 blah. But for those that just want to do a practice and say, you know what, I think I can you can totally do this project. You can totally. And I got another sewing project coming up as well in the works. It is going to hopefully be a collaboration sewing project. So be on the lookout for that. This one is another easy one. It is another easy sewing project. So I've already started making arrangements on that one. So we'll be getting this on and popping. Okay. And the last one. So just 3 bandanas is all you need to do this bag. Just 3. And like I said, you can do any color combination. You could do the same color combination. I picked these colors because I wanted something bold and bright, but then that black floral stood out to me and I was like, OMG, that is so pretty. I absolutely love it. So I bought the floral and then I had the nerve to turn around and saw the lavender, the purple. So I have that as well. So I have 9 bandanas to make 3 bags. But for right now, this is just the second bag. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go live and show. I was going to do a pre-recorded, but guess what that means? Editing. Who wants to edit? Not me. So that's why we're live. Sewing machine Evie. David, stop sewing. Why did you stop sewing, David? Did embroidery take over? All right, let's get this side and then we'll be done with this tedious ironing. And I'm going to leave the mini press on because this time I will go ahead and press out the handles, but I didn't with the first bag. And you can kind of tell, but like I said, this is just a casual, have fun, sling over your shoulder, walk out the door type of bag. Okay. That's going to be good enough for now. Let's move my wool pressing pad and we'll lay this back out. I didn't have any particular color set up. I do want the tags to all lay the same way. Let me move these. It's 3D printing stuff for my grandson. All right, and that's 1 bandana. This is 2 bandanas. And this is 3 bandanas. Okay. Now, easy peasy mac and cheesy. The first step that you want to do is stack your bandanas. And it doesn't matter the order because eventually you're going to be able to change the order to whatever you want it to be. All right. The other thing, and I do expect to see your name embroidered on it too. Should I be sewing along with you? What is the bag measurements? You can. Like I mentioned earlier, this is bandanas. I got them from Hobby Lobby. They have all kinds of colors, and you can follow along by doing fabric that's 21 by 21. So this is 21-inch square. So it's 21 by 21. But the bandana kind of like makes it where it's I don't want to say mistake proof, but it's just easy. The bandana kind of it hides mistakes. So that's the other reason why I love this with the bandanas. And the fabric's already cut, and like I said, the edge is already finished for you. So we're going to use that to our advantage. But the first step is to lay out your 3 bandanas. And they do need to be all at the same size. Like I said, 21 by 21 is the ones that I got from Hobby Lobby. All right. And so the first thing you want to do is cut this into 4s. So it's already folded, showing you the center. Here's the center line here that we just pressed out, but I can still see it a little bit. And here's the center line here that's already pressed out. So just follow that line and cut down the middle. All right. And so, like I said, it's not going to be perfect because as you see over here, they're not completely lined up just so. They're just not. And it's okay because this is not going to be a perfect bag. This is just going to be a fun bag, but it's going to be so cute that the fact that it's not perfect isn't even going to matter. Okay. So let's cut that. Alrighty. And then now that you've cut it one way, we're going to cut it the other way. And if Dollar Tree has them, just make sure that you get them, make sure they're all the same size. Because the project this could technically be done with a smaller bandana size, or a smaller square fabric size. So like I said, this is 21 by 21. If you found some bandanas that are 20 by 20 or 18 by 18, you technically can do this project with that. Okay. So again, these aren't completely lined up perfectly. I'm just going to make a quick adjustment, see if I can get them to be as straight as I can. But back here, you see they're not. It's okay. No worries. This is one of those bags that it doesn't even really matter. The thing is, follow that center line that's already folded there for you. If you don't have a center line, then just get your bandana folded in half, mark it with an iron or whatever, and do the other thing and iron it the other way. Up Designs Customs is over here, but with this cutter, the way you cut with this cutter keeps me from going this way with it. I don't have to worry about cutting myself with this cutter. Your natural is to go straight with this. I love this thing. Okay. So here are our bandana pieces that are cut in 4. So hopefully you saw that was easy peasy mac and cheesy. So now what you want to do is kind of get an idea of how you want your bag. It's entirely up to you. I like to make sure that the edges are to the outside. But aside from that, it doesn't matter how you do your fabric. I could do all the same color on one side. I can do different colors on one. It's up to you. There's no right or wrong. It's just pretty much what you want. Okay. And then I'm going to put this one down here. And so the main thing you want to do is put your outer edges along the outer edge so that it'll help the edges be finished. Okay. So now what you want to do is pick either the row this way, or going up and down. Doesn't matter. It's just up to you. So I'm going to go this way. So I'm just going to take this bottom and fold it up just like that, lining up the inner edge, and I'm going to take this and fold it up just like that. Easy, 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 easy. Okay. So again, all I did was cut it in fours, 3 bandanas stacked on top of each other. Then I cut them in fours. Then I laid out one side of the bag, just one side, 4 pieces, putting the finished edge along the outside of the square. And then all I did was take my bottom and fold it up. Or if I wanted to, I didn't have to take the bottom and fold it up. I could have went this way. Doesn't matter because we're going to wind up sewing the opposite way as well. Okay. So it's up to you. You could go either way. That's why I love this. Like you almost can't mess up. Okay. So because I folded it this way, I'm going to stitch on this line. Again, I folded this one this way, so I'm going to stitch on that line right there. So I'm going to show you again. If I did it the opposite, if I went this way and folded it up and lined them up, then I'm going to stitch on this line. Does that make sense? You're going to stitch the way you flipped your fabric. So stitch down here, stitch down here. So that's what I'm going to do. And I have white thread in there to make it easier for you guys to see the stitches when I'm doing this. And what I do when I'm stitching is I line the edge of my fabric up right along this, just like so. You see how that's sitting on the edge of the fabric? See that edge of that foot? And when I stitch, I pretty much just stitch right along the edge, using the edge of the fabric along the edge of the foot to keep my stitches straight. All right. If you have issues doing that, and there's nothing wrong with that, if you have issues, there's no worries. You can take a ruler and you can line it up with the edge of your fabric, and you can draw a line with a ballpoint pen because it's going to be stitched anyway, so it won't hurt anything. Okay, so I'm going to stitch this one, and even if you forget, what did I flip it up, did I flip it over, did I flip it back, did I flip it front, even if you forget, all you have to do is unfold it, take a look at it, and take a look at the other one and see where your edges are. So if I stitch this, I just don't want to stitch my finished edge. I can stitch here and I can stitch here, but I'm just going to have to turn to make it match. Not make it match, but I'm going to have to turn. Like for instance, if I stitch it wrong and stitch it this way, I'm just going to have to make sure that when I open it, my edges are on the outside. If I stitch it this way, then I'm going to have to open it this way. And you see now my fabric, I didn't want the pinks on both the same side, but it's not going to hurt anything. But that's just showing you how, even if a mistake is made, so to speak, it's not that big of a deal. All right. So I want this to be here and this to be here. So I'm going to stitch down this side right here. And as you see, the edge is not the same. See, it's completely off. It doesn't matter. It's not going to hurt anything. So I'm going to start stitching here because once we put this together, it's going to even itself out. Now you definitely want to make sure that when you're stitching, that you're actually stitching through fabric. Other than that, it doesn't matter if it's not lined up. Okay. All right. So now I have my top and my bottom So the next step is to fold it up this way, and we're going to stitch this way. Now, if you are a professional or a seasoned seamstress, then you already know that technically you're supposed to press your seams open. You don't have to. I did not with my last bag, and the bag turned out just as cute as ever. But for the sake of those in here that I do know for a fact have been sewing for a long time, I'm going to go ahead and press these seams open. And all it does is helps your, anytime you're sewing and you press your seams open, all it does is just help your project lay nice and flat and smooth and not make it bulky in where your seams are. But you don't have to do this, but I'm doing it because I know it's a bunch of folks in here that know how to sew, and they'll be like, she didn't press her seams open. This is not that type of project, and it's making the project take longer actually, because this was, I think I put that first bag together in probably 15 minutes, and it wouldn't have taken that long if I didn't struggle to turn the handle inside out because of my hands. So um and I don't know what I did with the other bodkin. So all right, so the seams are pressed, and again, I want to be sure that my finished edge is to the outside. So I'm going to lay this. This is how I want the side of my bag to look. And I'm going to flip this up, and we're just going to stitch down here. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the bag is uneven. You see, it's not matching up here. It's not matching up over here. It's not matching up down here. The only thing you need to be sure of when you, because of the uneven stuff, you just want to make sure that down here, say for instance, if I was stitching on this side, it looks like I can just stitch straight across right here and I'll be good, but I can't, because peeping up under here, there's a place where there's no fabric. So you just want to make sure that when you do stitch, that you're stitching high enough that you're getting both pieces of fabric. Okay. So for a situation like this where it's uneven, it might be helpful to get a straight edge ruler and draw a line to help you keep things straight. But I'm just going to go off of what I see, and I'm going to aim for this piece of fabric right here. And I'm just going to stitch a little further in instead of at the edge of the fabric, and then just go straight. My thread be getting caught up under the foot. All right. Yay. First side is done. So boom. Here is my first side. Oh man, Yvesta, I hope you feel better. I did get your message from the form, so I hope you feel better. So I'm going to go ahead and press this seam open as well so that it will be done. And even though we're not going to stitch this in this area anymore, and what I would like to do, I don't know that I'll do that tonight because I didn't want to be on here too terribly long. I know this was like a spur of the moment live just to have fun doing something cute. Um, I would like to show how to do a lining in this bag because it's not hard at all. It is just not hard. Okay, so here is our first side. Looking real cute. Okay, so let's move this over to the side and we're going to build our next side. So you can totally match your sides if you want to. You don't have to, but you can. So I'm going to, nope, I did not. So that works perfectly. I'm going to do things different. Let's see. That's not going to work. Hold on. There we go. I want orange beside green this time. I want pink down here. And I want extra green on this side. Okay. So now let's move these extra pieces for now because we'll be coming back to them. But for right now, we're going to move them. All right. And so again, I just want to lay it out so that I can get it arranged the way I want it to. And look at how, oh, you can't see that. Let me move this and move this up. And look at the difference in how this is. It's no worries. No worries at all because we're going to straighten all of this up when the time comes. So this is how I want my bag to be on this side. So again, you just pretty much want to take one side and put it on the other, or one side and put it on the other. And then that's where we're going to stitch. So I'm going to go this way with it. Actually, let me make sure. Nope. You want pretty sides together. So this is how we're going to stitch this. And I'm going to line up my bottom edge, but that's because that's what I want to do. You don't have to line up that bottom edge. But again, when we put this all together, it will straighten itself out. It's just super cool. So I'm going to stitch this side, and hopefully I'm not going too fast. If I lost you with making the side, let me know. Whoop, what happened? I broke the thread. So let us come up, and I'm going to have to rethread. Let me make sure I didn't break a needle. Nope, I didn't. Good, good. I had that ironing pad up there and it bound up my top thread. So let's rethread this. Now I got cheap thread up here, so it's bound to happen. Bound to get bound. Okay. Don't have an automatic needle threader on this thing, but it doesn't matter. Boop. Okay. Now we're going to cook with Crisco again. Let's get this on there. And I'm going to pick up where I left off. About right here. Come back a little bit further. Okay. There's that. And I'm going to lay it back out because I want to see where this was. And so now I need to do this one, and I'm going to put it right sides together. Always stitching right sides together. Always stitching right side together. Let me see, make sure. Sewing step by step. Okay, nobody's lost yet. Good. Good, good, good. You need 3 bandanas, and they all need to be the exact same size. Doesn't matter your choice in colors, same color, not the same color. It's up to you. I just thought it was super cute to do 3 different colors, but 3 bandanas. As long as they're the same size, you should be good. Alrighty, and so here is the top and the bottom. So now right sides together. Now I'm going to press my seams open, and then we're going to stitch across right there. Because Shay making me do all this extra work. I think it's payback for having her going to Walmart and stuff, but that's just, theory. That's my theory. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Press these seams open. Make it nice and neat. Alrighty, and so let's do this one. Press these seams open. And again, the reason why in sewing you press your seams open is to allow your project to lay nice and flat and neat. That's pretty much it. It's appearance, and it also lessens the bulk in your seam as you're stitching. Like for instance, when I go to stitch across here, the seam is open, so I'm going through 2 layers of fabric right here instead of it being squished together and laid to the side. Then I'm stitching through 3 layers because it's folded over on itself. So it also makes it easier to stitch. So, but 3 layers isn't that big of a deal for what I was doing, so that's why I wasn't worried about it. Okay. So again, this is what my front is going to look like. So I'm going to flip this over, and I am going to match my seams. You don't necessarily have to, but I'm matching my seams. And look, matching the seams make it crooked. But again, it doesn't matter because that's just this. I love this project. Okay. So now we're going to stitch along this way. Did that make sense? I'm glad you got some good sales, girl, because I don't be finding sales at Walmart. So this is what it looks like. We did the sides, the 2 panels. Now we're going to put the 4 panels together. All right. And so let's see. And it's not lining up, but it's okay. As long as I make sure that I'm stitching through fabric, I'll be fine. All right. So we have 2 sides now. Holler, hi, Sugar Cushion Bird. I meant to call you today. I gotta call you. Okay. Nothing major, just to catch up, make sure you're good. So, ta-da-da! Super cute. Now let's press the seams open that I just stitched. Let's press these seams open, and as you see, it's not lined up perfectly. That's a-okay. It is a-okay. I'll press this. Especially if you're doing a lining. If you're doing a lining, it definitely doesn't matter if it matches up. But we're not doing a lining with this bag, so press these open. Da, 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 da. But yeah, I went to a much farther away Walmart, and they did have the fabric in the 1 yard package, but that's not, I wanted it on the bolt like I have it already. And so I was like annoyed by that. All right, now here is the first side, or the second side. Here is the first side. Okay, looking really cute. I love it. And you can arrange this however you want. Let's see, if I do it this way, then they'll be opposite. I think that's going to be, I think that will be cute, but I kind of want the better edges at the top of the bag. Let's see. This is a better edge right here. And if you hear me talking about a better edge, all I'm saying is, see how this one is pretty straight right in here, and they match up, and this does too. So that'll be really cute at the top of the bag. So that's why I'm putting it this way instead of the other way. But you see how the bag is just not lining up. Again, that's fine. That's not going to be an issue here shortly. So here's the bag. Now I'm going to turn and match the front side to front side. So we got wrong side on the back or the front. Okay. Silk material lining would be nice. It's a lot of linings that we could use that would be real cute with this. I was thinking of a nice cotton. Um, but pretty much whatever it is that you have on hand really could work. And I'm gonna even this up just a little bit better, even though my seams are not gonna match. I don't care at this point because it really won't matter. Nothing's gonna really line up perfectly. Again, you can do this project and you can take and make sure that things line up just as cute as you want it to be. But because bandanas are kind of imperfect anyway, they're not going to be perfect unless you make the fabric yourself. Okay. So here is the bag. Uh, where did I do the top? I think this was the top. So let me turn it this way. Or was it? No, this was the top. I was right. Okay. So you have your two sides together. This bag has boxed corners. So we're going to box the corners. You don't necessarily have to do that. You can just do a straight bag. Do you know? If you don't know what box corner versus a straight bag is, let me know in the chat. Say, raise your hand or say, I don't know, so that I can kind of explain it a little bit better. I'm trying to think, do I have a bag in here that is not box corner? Because I should have one somewhere and I can just show it to you. But let me know in the chat if you don't know what I'm talking about so that I can explain it to you. Because for a person who doesn't sew, you may not know, and that's okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So when I'm talking about boxing the corners of my bag, is this one? Oh my gosh, this is awesome. Yes. Okay. So I do have one. All right. Here is an example right here. This is my bag that I got from Micro Center. And you see how it's boxed in the bottom? It's a square. It'll sit up by itself. So these corners theoretically are boxed. It looks like a box on the bottom. But this bag, let me take this mess out of here. I got stuff in the bag. This bag is not boxed at the bottom. I got stuff in it. So let me check this stuff out. Hopefully ain't got nothing in here crazy. And y'all gonna be like, oh my gosh, she got crazy stuff. Yeah, well, guess what? I'm crazy. Okay. So this bag is not boxed at the bottom. See how it's just straight at the bottom? There's no box to it whatsoever. So this bag won't stand up by itself. And Sheila, yes, that's a really good way to put that as well. Box corners will give you a flat bottom. Now, technically with this bag, that doesn't matter because um it's such a floppy material and it's not stiff like how the Micro Center bag was, so that it could stand up by itself. So it I'm kind of like in a way wasting my time to box it, but then again I'm also not, because by boxing the bottom it kind of gives the stuff at the bottom of your bag a little bit more room at the bottom. Okay, so that's why I like to box the bottom of my bags, and it's not hard to do. I just wanted to make sure I explained it so that it made sense of what I was doing and why I was doing it. So did that make sense? Hopefully that made sense to you. So with this bag, you don't have to box the bottoms. So what you can do is, now that I have both sides, you could just go down one side, down this way, and back up. And there you'll have a bag, just like the bag I was taking the stuff out of. And it won't be, you know, it won't give you some extra depth in the bag, so to speak. But I'm going to box the corners because I want it to have a little bit more space at the bottom of the bag so that my stuff ain't just sitting in there all up against each other. It'll kind of have a little bit of room at the bottom of the bag to set things side by side or whatever. So that's what I'm going to do. To box corners is super, super easy. What I definitely want to do is get the top of my bag as close to even as I possibly can, meaning the top edge. So this is the top of the bag, the sides, this is the bottom. So to box the corners, You just need to cut out a square from the bottom corners, the two bottom corners. So what I would do is maybe like a 2 by 2 square. I usually eyeball it, unfortunately, and I hate to do that to y'all, but that's usually what I do. But let me see what a 2 by 2 square looks like. Actually, let's do, this is a pretty big bag, so I'm gonna do a 3 by 3. This ruler is 3 inches. So if I do 3 by 3 and see how this edge is shorter than this one, I'm gonna have to go off of this edge right here, and that's a 3 by 3 area. I'm gonna show you a trick. So we're gonna go this way, and we're gonna go this way. All right. And now I'm gonna have to use the scissors to cut the rest of that because I knew I didn't go far enough. So now that that's cut out, remember this was the one that is the 3 inches. This one is longer because there was overhang. Just take this one and lay it over here and cut out your corner. Use it as a template. So the first one that you cut, and that way you don't have to use the ruler to do it anymore. So I'm just gonna cut this out, cut this over, boop, and there's my corners. Okay, boom, I'm done with that. So now that I have my corners cut, where I'm going to sew now is, this is the top of the bag where I'm going to be putting stuff in. I'm going to stitch down this side. I'm going to stitch down this side, and then I'm going to stitch across the bottom. Okay. So down this side, and across the bottom. Don't worry about this right here just yet. Well, with this particular, if it's a, excuse me, if this is a 21 by 21, it's plenty big enough. They don't have to make it taller. That's why this project is so cool. It's just like everything that you need to even thinking about has already been thought about for you. You don't even have to worry about it. So let's stitch down this side. And I'm going to try and make sure my sides are as even as possible, but they don't absolutely have to be, but I'm just going to try. And then right here where your seams, we ironed them open. I'm just going to try and make sure that they feed in there nice and flat. I didn't do that with the first bag. You really don't have to, but okay, let's make sure. All right. Oh man, yeah, Sheila, I do need to call you, girl. Oh my God. I just thought of something. I need to call you. You're gonna trip out. All right, so there's that. That's the first side. Okay, so the first side, this is the top. Crown Royal bags, you should be able to do it with Crown Royal bags, Kelly. The thing is, you just got to make sure that your squares are pretty close in similar size. But a bag like this, you can make this kind of bag out of some of anything. Honestly, this is a really easy bag to make. It's not one of those ultra formal, everything has to be absolutely perfect, blah blah. Not with this kind of bag. This is like your basic tote bag. And just a have fun bag. It's not necessarily a spend a night bag for those who are into that. This is more like a I'm running to the beach or I'm running to the market bag. Alrighty, and so there's that. Okay, so both sides are now stitched. So now I'm going to stitch across the bottom. Okay, and I'm going to even this up a little bit just manually because this is going to change anyway. So I mean, it's the same. It's not going to change, but it's going to change. You'll see here in a in un momento. Okay. So let's get this. And these are all straight stitches. You don't have to go over no corners. You don't have to figure nothing out. It's just, you don't have to, just straight stitches. Alrighty. So here is our bag. We actually technically have a bag because we have sides and the bottom. The only thing is these guys right here are open. Okay, so next Sunday we doing this bag with the liner. It's not that we can't. I was thinking about coming on a different evening and seeing if we could do something. Another. Well, I was trying to do this earlier in the day, but we can figure something out. It's no worries. So to box corners, super easy. Okay, super easy. So here's the bag. That's the top, sides, bottom, and this is where we cut out our corners, right? You're going to take this right here and you're going to open it up, like opening up a froggy's mouth. I guess that's the best way I can think to put it. Just open it up just like so, and get your seams lined up with each other. Does that make sense? Let me show you again. See the fish mouth? Let's say fish mouth, because some people don't like frogs. Everybody likes fish. Most people like fish. So here's the fishy's mouth. We're just going to open up the fishy's mouth and bloop, and do it this way. Okay, just like so. Easy peasy mac and cheesy. And then we're going to put a stitch straight across here, just like that. It's helpful if you pin it closed. You don't have to. It goes pretty quick, so I wouldn't pin it closed, or I'm not going to pin it closed, but there you go. So just go boop, boop, just like so. Now, a gusset is a little bit different, Carrie. This is the beginning of a gusset. Yes, I'll show you what a gusset is here in a moment, but this is boxing out your corners. And so I'm just going to go straight across right here, lining up the edges. And I'm just going to go straight across, because gusset, to make it a gusset, you got to stitch not just these flat bottoms, but you got to go up the sides. Well, you don't have to, but you go up the sides because the gusset goes all the way up and down the edges. So couch pillows have gussets, stuff like that. The cushions that you sit on, rather. Okay, so there we go. All I did was just stitch straight across. And so there's my box corner on one side. And so here we're going to do this again. There's the fishy's mouth. We're going to squish it open and then stitch straight across, just like so. And I'm going to try to stitch it straight across with the seams open, but that's pretty much how it works. Okay, line them up. Hopefully I did not lose you. We'll try and do this again. Definitely hit replay if, because I tried to go step by step and not blow slap through it, so that you can catch on with how this works. And all I did was stop and make sure that my seams were open. Again, you don't have to, because I didn't with the first bag, but trying to do things the right way. Okay. Oh my gosh, that didn't. Wait a minute. There we go. I think. There we go. My thread came unthreaded at the top. Okay. So now I have a boxed corner. See, this makes a box at the bottom of the bag. Hopefully that makes sense. Because before it was just flat, but now we actually have a box at the bottom, so that if this wasn't so super floppy, this bag would totally stand up by itself. But it's super floppy, so it's not going to completely stand up by itself. But here's our bag. This is our bag right here. So you can, at this point, take time, trim up loose threads if you want to. Um, go over it, make sure things look nice and spiffy to your liking. But aside from that, just go ahead and turn it inside out. Okay, because I'm not doing a lining with this bag, so I can just turn it inside out. And here is my bag with my boxed corners. Super cool. So if I were to do a gusset, as Carrie was bringing out, then what I would do is I would take the corner of the box, and this is complicating things, but it's no worries. And I would stitch up the side right here and stitch up the side from this corner up here, and it'll box the sides. That's what a gusset does. And this was a great example of a gusset. So not only is it boxed at the bottom, but notice how the sides, these sides are stitched so that they stay pinched. You see how that's nice and crisp on the sides? This is a gusset. The way this is boxed on the side like this going up, this is a gusset. Okay. So if you look at your couch pillows, the ones you sit on a living room couch, a lot of times they have that trim along the outside to give it that nice crisp boxed look to your cushions. And usually a zipper goes up the middle. But this is a gusset. This is a gusset right here. Alrighty. So our bag is technically done as far as if we're not doing a lining. Okay. So now we have that. Let's grab the other squares that we didn't use. Okay. So here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 squares left over. Now, when I did my bag over there, to me, the handle was too long. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take away one of these squares, and I'm just going to use 3. I'm just going to use 3 squares. But if you want 4 squares and a long handle, then you can, but I'm not. So what we're going to do with this is basically same thing we did with the first set, and cut right up the middle. Okay. So let's get a ruler, and I'm going to line it up right there. And I'm going to do this right here. Now, this handle is going to be one of the bare basic, simplest handles that you can make for a bag. There are a lot of different ways to do handles on a bag, but this is just super simple. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to, and it doesn't matter whether the seams are together or not. So right sides together. I'm going to stitch along the bottom of one of the long ways. I'm going to stitch on the short side. Okay. So let's go here. And I'm going to make a, what? Did it come threaded again? It sounds like it. Yes, it did. So I ain't stitching nothing right now. Hold on. Oh man, it came like unthreaded. Okay. Give me one moment to rethread. Nancy Lou. Get this in there. Let's see. Is that the needle? The eye, rather. I have needle threaders, but I don't never really use them. I need to, because I'm getting older. It gets harder and harder to find the eye of the needle. I did pretty good earlier, but right now this is wanting to give me a fit. Let's drop the foot and see if that helps. All right, that's not won't work. Ugh. Let's grab us a hummingbird needle threader. I actually have a different needle threader somewhere. I've never used this, so we'll see how this goes. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, easy peasy. Here we go. Whoops. All right, come back. There we go. Thank you, little hummingbird. All right. Boom. All right. Now we're going to cook with fatback again. Okay. So, again, these are lengthwise, and I'm going to stitch along the short edge. Okay. And that was a needle threader. It was a needle threader to help my little feeble eyes. Put that thread through the needle. There's all kinds of needle threaders out there. That was just one kind. And I'm going to press these seams open as well when I get to it. Actually, I'm going to finger press these open. Finger press. Okay. Now, wrong side, right side. So this is how I want it to open. So I'm going to put right sides together, and now I'm going to stitch right here. So I'm basically making a chain, a long line of bandana strips. Well, not a long line, but a three-piece bandana strip. Now, some people will probably cringe with how I'm going to do the handle on this bag, but again, this is for beginners. This is without a lining, so we're just gonna make this work the easiest way I can think to show them. Okay, so seams pressed open. Now we've got a 3-piece strap. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it right sides against each other. And then I'm just going to stitch all the way down this whole thing to make a handle. This is one of the easiest handles to make. So, because there's another way to make a handle where you kind of fold it and then fold it in itself and fold it in half and fourths and all that jazz. But that's not this type of bag. This is a fun bag, casual bag. So we're just going to do it this way. So I'm going to go straight down. Make sure these seams are open. Okay, all straight seams, no extra miss. No. Alrighty. This is the first handle. Okay, and so what we're going to do at this point is just turn it inside out. A hummingbird needle threader is just a needle threader in the shape of a hummingbird. Where did I get this from? It is a Dritz hummingbird needle threader. And it's a 12 pack. For whatever reason, I bought a 12 pack. Well, I guess a 12 pack would be handy. And we're not talking about beer. A 12 pack would be handy for people like myself who lose and misplace stuff all the time. What are you looking for in the sewing department? What are you looking for? Does your sewing department have, well, it don't matter. I'm not about to ask no ship for no fabric. Because I can order it shipped from Walmart. But I don't know what everybody was looking for. Sparkle. Oh, my fabric that I was using. It is Waverly. It is Waverly fabric, and it's white and it's glitter. So it's white glitter Waverly fabric. You can sublimate on this. White glitter Waverly fabric. It's 44 inches. But that's the only white glitter Waverly fabric they got that I've seen, anyways. Someone else asked earlier. Okay, no worries, Miss Joyce. You know I'm not worried about questions. I don't mind questions. I don't mind questions. $2 a yard of fabric. How much they got? Where you at? I might have to so I'm biased. Oh my god, because why they got it in the 1 yard pack for 490, 494, no, 460, 462, 460 something. No, that glitter fabric is not polyester. It's cotton. It's 100% cotton. But because it has the glitter, it allows you to sublimate on it. I don't ask no questions. I just know it works. Glitter fabric, you can sublimate on it. Girl, unbiased. Don't do me like that, fam. How many do they only have just one bolt of it? Because if they got two, I'm just saying, I really need a whole boat. Hey, Gives headquarters. How are you? You're Jeanette's sister. Welcome. This is the longest part, y'all. This is the part that takes the longest, really, is flipping this darn thing. And it should probably won't take you long if you have a bodkin or a turner, fabric turner, or whatever you want to call those things. I don't know where mine is. I bought several. I don't know where they are. Okay. Ta-da-da! So here is the first handle, and I am going to press it because I did not press the other handle to the other bag. So we're gonna press this nice and crispy crisp. I should have pressed the seam open before I turned it inside out, but it'll be all right. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Use the safety pin to turn it, Sylvia. That's super smart. Did I think that? Nope. Why? Because I normally don't be turning stuff. Alrighty. So let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Press this. Get this nice and crispy crisp. Crispy crisp. Let's do that. Let's do that. I am in love with all of these sewing projects that are going on because sewing is how I super started all of this. Honestly, sewing and sewing bags actually was how I started all of this. Okay. And that was, gosh, ooh, I don't know how many years ago that was now. It's been a long, long, long time ago. The lady who taught me how to sew. So I'm going to do the exact same thing with the other three pieces. So this is the handle. To me, that's plenty long, but you could use the final square and you can add another piece to your tote bag chain if you want to, or you could technically use this square to put a pocket on the inside of that. It's all kind of stuff you can do with that one square, but I like 3 square length, so that's what I'm gonna use. All right, so I'm gonna do the exact same thing that I did, but on this other handle. So I'm gonna sew right sides together, and I'm gonna sew along the short side. All right. And then I'm gonna do the same thing. I got the orange in the middle, so I'm gonna go orange in the middle again and do the same thing. Short sides together. Alrighty. And then we are going to again, we're going to turn this in and we're going to fold this in half, right sides together. Okay, the long way. So right sides together and fold it in half the long way so that we can make our strap. Our bag is strap. This is a strapping young bag. Okay. Easy peasy, mac and cheesy. So now let us go and stitch down the long way again to make our second strap. All right. Boom, boom, boom. All right, and so we're going to turn this one inside out as well. Oh yeah, you got a new album coming out? Sweet. Sweet. Gifts HQ, you guys, has a crafting album music where all of the music is about crafting, and kind of cool to have playing in the background while you're doing your crafting and you're working and stuff. Now, I generally play things that I can scream and screech at the top of my voice, like Whitney Houston, like uh, Evanescence, like, stuff like that. But when I'm trying to be calm, cool, and collected, then that would be an awesome album to listen to while I am working. All right. And crafting. For non-sewers, to line the bag, just repeat with lining fabric and fold down the top seam, place inside and sew around Sheila Cushion Berry. Now, folks ain't gonna understand that if they ain't sewn before. I could do it. What time is it? It's kind of late. That's the only reason why I don't want to do it tonight. But lining the bag is very, very, very easy. Very, very, very easy. That's actually easier than what we did. You know what? Should I line it? Yeah, if you want me to line this bag, say yes, line the bag. I really don't necessarily want to because I was super. You know what? Let's line the bag. I'm gonna line it anyway. I'm gonna line it anyways. She said best you could do it 200 letters. Right, right. I've got all night. Yes, line the bag. Okay. Anybody else want to line the bag? Line the bag. Okay, we'll line the bag then. We will line the bag. Lining the bag is easy. It's easy, easy, Easier than turning this stupid handle. Squishing my fingers in. Okay. Knowing I gotta practice. All right, let's see. Boom. Look at that. Holler. Okay. So here is the second strap. Let's press it, make it nice and crisp and purty. Nice and crisp and purty. Okay. So that Shay Shay will be proud of me. We need Shay Shay to be proud. Especially for someone who does not iron. I hate iron. I'm not an ironing person. Never have been, even as a kid. But my grandma was like, girl, you don't know how to iron. You iron in the wrong way. That's it. I don't even want to iron no more. If it's a right and a wrong way to get some clothes straight, I don't want to be a part of it. Period. I think I was 9 at the time. Only reason I got iron now is because it's cordless and I thought it was cool. Well, no, that's not the only reason. I got it because sometimes when you're doing these sewing projects, you do have to iron, but for the most part, I don't iron. Okay. Look at that. Super pretty. Just strapping. Okay. So here is the second strap. Okay. So we've got the strap and we have the bag. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to go ahead and attach the straps to the bag. Now, granted, if I were doing this without the lining, this is what I would do. I would take one square on this is the front of the bag, this is the back of the bag, and these seams go down the side of the bag. Okay. So on both sides of the bag, I would take this first square, fold it in half, and kind of pinch right there to find the center of this square. And all I would do is just put this right here and stitch straight across right there. This is without a lining, no lining whatsoever. That's how I attach the handles on that bag. And then I would do the same thing. I would just bring this handle around just like so and find the middle of this one. Pinch right there. Stick that right there. And just stitch straight across there. And that's the handle on the first side of the bag. See how cute that is? And simple, super, super simple. That's if this is not being lined, okay? If it's not being lined, this is how I would attach it. Just stitch straight across. Or you could cheat if you want to. Holler, and you could get some stitch witchery and put stitch witchery there. But the problem with doing the stitch witchery, it's super permanent. But the problem with the stitch witchery is I wouldn't put too much weight in here and trust that stitch witchery alone. Okay, but you could do it without even stitching this there. But that's how I would do it if I weren't lining it. And I would repeat on the other side and this bag would be done. But we're doing a lining. So let's move this out of the way. Let's move this out of the way, the straps. Let's move this out of the way. And then I'm going to slide this just a little bit. Okay. And so now y'all are going to make me work a little bit. Let's see. What do I have? That is neon colors. Hey Patrice. Let's see. Neon colors. Neon colors. Neon colors. You know what? I'm gonna do black. I think I have enough black. I'm gonna see if I have enough black. If I have enough black, I'm gonna do black. Because that bandana fabric, I want the neon to be center stage, so to speak. Do I have neon? What is this? This is, oh, this could work. How big is this? This is 18 by 18. That's not gonna work. Let me see. 18 by 21. It might work. Let me see. This might work. Wait a minute. No, I only have one, so that's not gonna work. Dang nabbit. Okay, that's not gonna work. So let's see if I have enough of this black. Yeah, I got enough black. Okay, so, ooh, I was about to speak too soon. I didn't know I had cut it. Okay, so what we want to do to line this bag is I'm going to match the fabric. So you remember, who remembers where did I get the bandana fabric? I got it from Hobby Lobby. They are 99 cents a bandana. 99 cents a bandana, and they have all kinds of colors. I think I filmed it. I can't remember because I was going to show it to y'all. Who remembers what size? Yeah, you can do one strap like a sling bag. That would be cute, Vanessa. That would be totally cute. Who remembers what size the bandanas are that I used? Who remembers the size? Shay, you gonna make me press this fabric too? Please say no. I'm gonna press it anyway. Only because I like Shay that much, y'all. I just do. She's super cool. Yas, Jesse. Yas, Miss JB. 21-inch square. 21-inch square. You know what, Shay? I think this is a lost cause because this fabric has been folded up in that drawer for a whole hot minute. So I ain't but so much iron and I'm gonna be able to do with this. But we're gonna match that. So we're gonna get this fabric 21 by 21. Okay. Actually, I could probably take an inch off because we stitched the we've already stitched on the inside of that one a good bit, but I'm gonna match it anyway. 21 by 21. Ooh, shit, this is tragic. This is tragic right here. I should have hooked up my steam iron for this particular job. This is not good. Okay, I think that's enough to get the 21 inches. Okay. So let's see what size this is. So first of all, wide, I needed to be 21 inches. Oh, I already have a ruler right here. Boom, 22. Look at him. You see what I'm saying? Just can't get no better than that. Okay, so that's 22 inches. I needed it to be 21, so that's perfect. And now I need this to be 21. So to get it to 21, I need to cut it right here. So, bloop. So 21 is right here. So to help me remember where we're going to cut it, I'm going to snip this fabric right here at the 21 inch place. And then I'm going to turn this fabric. Actually, I'm going to turn it this way. Shay, don't look at these wrinkles, ma'am. And where did I snip this? Is that it? Yep, there it is. Cool. Okay. Wrinkled and dusty. Boy, I tell you. Okay. So my cut is right here. And I am going to cut it right here. So this is folded in half. Sorry, I should have mentioned that. This fabric is folded in half so that I get two pieces of 21 by 21. So it is folded. All right, let's take this off. Look, that was, woo, that was by the skin of that fabric teeth, boy. If fabric had teeth, that would have been the skin of it right there. Okay, and so now I'm going to take off an inch over here because remember this was 22 inches wide. So I'm gonna take off 1 inch. Ah, crap. All right. And then I'm going to even it up top because I purposely cut it a little bit longer because I knew one side of this was just shorted a little bit. So I'm just going to even Steven it up. And then we're going to cut that fold. And we'll have our 2 pieces at 21 inches, okay? So let's even this up, even Steven. Boom. There we go. And now I'm going to use my fabric scissors, and go up. So did this, hopefully I didn't lose anybody. Now we're working on the lining of the bag. You can use any fabric you want for the lining. You just need to do, make sure that the fabric is the same size as the bandana fabric. Now, if you want to be over the top and super creative, and I promise you, I will not judge you for it. If you want to be over the top and super creative, somebody already asked me about that handle, Sheila. That handle is over here. I don't need it with that. That cutter is because of the ergonomic way it is. It kind of forces me to go straight, so I don't worry about cutting myself with that. If you wanted to be extra, you could do another 3 bandanas and make 4 panels and make your inside lining match the outside of your bag. But guess what? I'm not extra like that, so I'm not doing that. I'm just going to do a solid 1 color inside, okay? So here is, remember we did 3 inches? We did a 3-inch boxed corner. So let's do another 3-inch box corner because that's what we did on the lining, remember? Because we got a box corner inside. I'm sorry, yeah. We have a box corner for the outlining of the bag. So we need a box corner for the inside of the bag as well. Okay, we're going to match it. So there's my 3 inches. I'm going to take the same fabric and I'm going to use that as my template. And I'm going to cut out this boxed edge over here. Boom. And there we go. See, it looks just like how we did for the inside. I mean, the outside of the other bag, but this mimics it. So now, do you remember after I boxed out the corners, remember what we did? Where did we sew? Do you remember? Let me make sure that's 21 inches because that looks real long right now. Oh, it looks longer because I may go ahead and take an inch off the top of this bag because when you're sewing those panels together, the seam allowance where we folded it open and pressed our seams open, the seam allowance, for those who may not know, when you stitch along the edge with your sewing machine and they say give yourself a 3/8 seam allowance or 1/2 seam allowance or whatever, when you're stitching your seam, this is what your seam allowance winds up being, is this right here. So this little part right here is what your seam allowance winds up being. So this is essentially a 1/2 inch off of the size of the fabric. Does that make sense? sides and bottom. Thank you, Making with Marilyn. The seams first, Mylene, perfect. So because I took 1/2 inch right here, that shortened the bag, and then I stitched the bottom, that shortened the bag even more. So we have to do the same thing here. So I'm going to take 1 inch off the top, but that's neither here nor there at this point. So we're going to stitch the sides, and then I'm going to stitch along the bottom, but I'm going to take 1 inch off the top first. Excuse me. So after you do your bag and it's 21 by 21, let's go ahead and take another inch off, okay? Because you don't want it to be too much bigger than your the lining. You don't want the lining to be bigger than your outside. What did I cut over? Oh my gosh, where did y'all come from? Y'all just messed up my thing. Okay. So now I'm going to stitch up the sides and across the bottom. And again, I have white fabric. So did I? Yes, I did. I have white fabric, white thread. So you'll be able to see my stitches. Normally you would match your thread color with your fabric color to help, unless you want decorative stitching and you want it to show, but usually I'm gonna go ahead and stitch across the bottom while I'm down here. Alrighty. Sides and bottom. Thank you, David. Sides and the bottom. And up the other side. Up the other side. So that we can finish up this here bag. And I can go in there and play my video game. I like going in there to play my video game. All right, so I use white thread so that you can see my stitches. Yes, the thread should not show because it's going to be on the inside. But there's my down that side, and across the bottom. And now, because it's black, you'll be able to see better how I stitch the box corners shut. But again, you're going to grab the top corner right there, and you're going to grab the bottom corner, same spot, and just pull it wide until it meets and squishes shut. And I know that black is hard to see. And then we're going to stitch straight across that using your same seam allowance. Okay, and I'm gonna show you it's not perfect. It doesn't have to be because this is in the bottom of the bag. So you see how I stitch straight across, just like that. Okay, same thing. We're gonna grab at the corner right here, at the corner right there, and pop it open. And then we're going to stitch directly across. Hopefully you didn't miss that. I said video game, sure did. Sure did. We're gonna play my video game. You know, that's what the old folks back in the day. Why is you in there playing that there video game? You need to be out there plowing that field. Okay. And so here is my lining. Yay! So here is the lining. And so my lining now has a boxed bottom, just like the outside of my bag. So now what we're going to do is we are going to take this bag right here. Oh, you know what? I didn't do something first. Hold on. I didn't do something first. I did not do something first. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is, let me make sure I'm doing this right, is I am going to stitch. Remember, I marked the centers. So now we're going to attach the handles, but we're going to attach the handles um different from how I showed you the first time. So the first time I showed you how to attach the handles if you were not doing a lining. If you're not doing so yes, a lining is the carbon copy of the bag. That is correct. Oh, you know what? I messed up. I'm glad you said that, Marilyn. I messed up, and I'm gonna fix it here in a minute. I'm gonna show you where I messed up, but right now I want to make sure that I clarify this. The first way I showed you to attach the handles is you just pop the handle to the inside of the bag and stitch straight across. Okay, stitch straight across on both sides. Or like Vanessa said, you can do one strap and make a crossbody looking type situation. This is just if you are doing this without a lining, but we're getting ready to add a lining. So when you add a lining, you're now going to stitch this on the front of the bag. So I'm going to put just a straight stitch right here in the middle. And then I'm going to do a straight stitch right there in the middle. And it's just technically it's just to tack it in place. Okay. I messed up with my lining and now I'm going to be crying. Okay. There's that one. All right. And put this one in the center and go straight across. I messed up with my lining. Go Marilyn. She reminded me, but I could have fixed it even still. And I'll show you how I will fix it. Because I still got to fix it the same way. So I could fix it after I realized that I had messed up. All right, so there's one handle strap. Here's the other one. Let's do the other side. We're gonna do the other side. I'll mark the center of it by just pinching a slight crease so that I can see it. And I'm going to lay this right there, and then I'm going to stitch again, making sure that the other side of the bag is not in the way, and I don't stitch through all of that. Okay, just a simple straight stitch. It doesn't even have to be back stitched because we are going to reinforce these stitches. All right, and so now we're going to do this side. And again, this is on the outside, on the front of the bag. Okay. Oh, girl, I don't need no music contract. Ah, are you kidding? Why is my thing coming unhinged? Hang on. Let's thread you again. Oh, why you want a straight trip? Don't want to use the hummingbird. So come on and thread because I don't feel like getting out the hummingbird. There we go. Appreciate you, fam. I don't know why you couldn't do that the other time instead of me having to get the hummingbird. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Boom. Okay. And here is the other strap. Okay. So here's my bag. And the only reason why why you would want to, if you don't have a lining, stitch it the other way is because now with it on the outside, when you stand it up, the the upper ledge kind of curls inward with the handle this way. It doesn't hurt anything, it doesn't kill anything, but this is for if we're doing a lining, okay? So now I'm gonna show y'all where I messed up. It's not a big boo-boo, but it is a boo-boo. And it would have been an irritating boo-boo if you were following along. And if you were following along and stitching right along with me and didn't catch the boo-boo too, then it's a boo-boo for both of us. And I apologize. Okay, so here is the bag and here is the lining. We are, if you've watched any of us as we're doing our in the hoop bags and our in the hoop stuff, one of the things that we do all the time is flip stuff inside out. So I need to take this and shove it into this right sides together. So here's the outside seam. This is the inside. So you can see there's no white thread in there. And I want to shove all of this into here. Okay. Just like so. And I'm going to line it up. So my seams right here on the side, if you want to be super neat and super particular, you're going to line up those seams and make sure that those seams match. Okay. Now right here, because we're doing a lining, this is where I would say use pins or clips for keeping all of this together. This is that part. I'm not a I I try really hard to not have to pin things, but this is where I would definitely suggest pinning. Now, while I'm pinning this, I want to see for those who are bag makers or whatever. Okay, so the way I would suggest pinning is pin on the sides first so that your seams will stay matched. Even if as you go around and you're pinning, it'll keep your sides nice and even. And I usually go straight down with my pins, not sideways. I go straight down. Because when you pin for a sewing project, you want to pin opposite of how you're sewing. I'm going to sew this way, so my pin should be going that way. Hopefully that makes some sense. Now, bonus kudos to whomever can tell me where I messed up before I show you where I messed up. Because I'm going to have to show you where I messed up here in a minute. Bonus kudos. And you're going to get a super holler just for you if you can tell me where I messed up. Unbiased. Oh my God. Holler, unbiased. Sheila Cushionberry. Holler. Lita E. Holler. Kelly. Holler. Yeah, y'all. I ain't leave myself an opening so I could turn this thing. What in the whole wide world was I thinking? I wouldn't. Okay. So I got to put me an opening in the bottom of the bag. But that's not hard to do because we have seam rippers. And it's not that big of a deal to do that at this point. So I'm going to finish pinning with my pretty purple pins. And then I'm going to grab a seam ripper and I am going to open a portion of the bottom of the bag. And I can do that before or after I stitch around. But now that outside of this bag, okay? So notice the handles, you don't see the handles. You see the wrong side of the inside of the bag, and the handles are on the inside, on the right side of the bag. No, the straps are already in there. Remember, I stitched the straps. Uh, you can add your straps at that point, but I like to add them and kind of tack them in place ahead of time. So my straps are tucked inside right in here. And now I can stitch around the whole top of this bag. So let me grab a seam ripper really quickly. And then we'll be finishing this thing right on out. So if I go I can go play my video game because I was not trying to do a why seam ripper. Okay, there we go. I was not trying to do a line bag tonight, but y'all convinced the heifer, and so yas. So I'm just gonna pick out seam rip. Yeah, it's kind of thin fabric, so it shouldn't take a whole big huge section of thread. But I'm just gonna unpick probably like about a 6-inch section, maybe. That good? Yeah, a little bit longer. Need to be able to get my hand. Okay, I should be all right with that little section. And if not, I can just pick a little bit more. But for right now, I'm going to stitch around all around the outside. You could fold down the tops of both, drop lining in, so around the top, no need to turn. It does take a little bit more time, but this kind of like polishes it all for me. And I like that. Let me cut. I'm gonna cut these tabs out because I don't want this paper to be stiffening and making racket inside my thing. But yes, if you can get a hold to some bandanas, this is a really super cute project to do. All right, so I am going to, and this is where, so if you have a sewing machine, some people may not realize this part right here of the sewing machine comes off. So on mine, I just lift up and pull it off. And what that does is it gives you a channel for stuff like this. This is tubular so that you can do a tube right here on this little section. Now it makes it easier to do tubes. Okay. So let's start stitching in the kitchen right here. So, and you do not want to sew over your needles. You do not want to sew over your needles. You can if you're brave, but I would not suggest it. That's not going to work like she said it would. Okay. So you'll have to take your time, back stitch, take your time. You see a needle coming up, you stop, pull it out, and keep right on going. Take that one out, keep right on going. Take this one out, keep right on going. Now this one is going to give me a little bit of a trouble because it was teamed too much. So I'm going to improvise. Most people don't like matching seams on bags for this very reason, but you know, hey, that's a part of it. Alrighty. And hopefully you got a pretty decent, that's the, okay, so with this being a bandana bag, the bandanas are pretty thin. So sewing through layers, because you got to stitch through the layer of the bandana, the handle, the double thickness of the handle, and the lining. So if you don't have a strong-ish sewing machine, it might bog down and it might sound like it's dying. So just be careful. But it should be all right. Really? Right here at the very end, my thread wants to break. Right, look what I had left. Just that one little, you couldn't hang on for just that one. Okay. You did good all this time though, so I ain't gonna fuss. Thank you, Nancy Boo. All right. Let's get that. Let's thread this yet again. I don't know what I'm doing to, because this sewing machine, I love this sewing machine. Like, Here's a strong bond between me and this sewing machine. Like, I don't ever plan to ever get rid of this sewing machine. That's part of the problem right there. My dang bobbin was running out. Let's see if I can't get this bobbin to last just for a couple more stitches, y'all. A couple more stitches. And my bag also had a fold in it because I was rushing. Okay. Yay! So here's the bag. This is what it looks like. Wrong side, wrong side. Okay. So you can see all the stitches. Now we are going to, she said she was going to cut her own favorite. Girl. Child, my Walmart, they be having an aneurysm if you even think about asking. That's why I'm not surprised we don't have fabric. So now we're going to pull this bag inside out from that hole that I cut, seam ripped in the bottom. Okay. That I should have left in the bottom of this bag the first time. I should have stitched, when I went to stitch the bottom, I should have stitched over to a certain point, stopped, and then came over and stitched the rest of the way. But I forgot because it's been a minute since I've made this bag, this type of bag. But we got others who are more experienced than myself in the chat who saw. Okay. And so this is much easier to turn inside out than those handles. As you can see, just take your time and work it, and boom, here is the lining. Here are my handles. See, my handles are nicely sandwiched, nice and convenient right there. And then here's those handles, nice and sandwiched. All right. And so at this point, this is where I personally would use my cheat code, and I would either use Stitch Witchery to stitch this hole closed in the bottom of the lining where I turned the bag inside out, or I will just do what I'm about to do right now and just sew a straight stitch right there to stitch this closed, because who really ain't got time to be doing a whole bunch of craziness? Is me. Or if you're super professional, like if you're doing this for a customer, I would do the, I think it's called whip stitch. See the whip stitch, ladder stitch, some kind of stitch. I forget what it's called. All right. And that will close off that hole in the bottom of the bag so that your stuff doesn't fall through the hole. Look, I still missed it. So I'm gonna have to stitch witchery it because my bobbin was about to run out. So I'm gonna have to put some stitch witchery in there. So let's cut this back on. All right, so anyways, now you can just push your lining back down into the bag. And there you have a super cute bag, y'all. Oh my God. It's technically, there's more you can do to it, and I'll show you that here in a moment. There's a couple of other things that I would have done had I had time, had I made more plans for it, because I really wasn't planning on doing the lining. So there's other things you can do. All right. Number one, what you can do is, which will polish off this bag. And it will help you because if you need to wash it in the washing machine, it'll help keep your lining from flopping back out. You can top stitch. So what top stitch is like a decorative. It is, some people probably wouldn't think it's decorative, but you can tell the difference when you do. So you can make sure your seams are nice and even all the way around the top. Flatten them out, get them nice and crisp and lined up. And you can even pin this to where your seams stay nice and straight. And then you just put it back on the sewing machine and use a complementary stitch color and stitch all the way around the outside top of the bag. And that'll polish this off and finish it and kind of like lock that liner in place and make it nice and permanent, make it look good. It'll also keep your handles where they need to be and all of that jazz. So like here's the bag. Um, and it would just put a really nice decorative finish around the top. Also, as was mentioned earlier, if you wanted to gusset this bag, you would just need to make sure that your boxed corners of your liner are down in there, and then you can gusset between the liner and including the liner and the side of the bag, and that'll also further reinforce that liner in the bag. So there's a lot of little things you can do. Also, as I mentioned earlier, you have this one extra square if you only did 3 per handle like I did, and you can make a pocket out of this and put a pocket on the liner for the bag. So we could have stitched a pocket in here before putting the liner on the bag itself. So we could have stitched us a pocket. I mean, it's all kinds of cool little things that can be done. And of course, you you always can add bling. I'm just saying, you always can add bling to it. So there's quite a few things you can do. But for right now, I'm going to seal this shut real quick so that my bag will be done for the time being. And then I will let you good people go. I just needed y'all to see how cute these bandana daggum bags are. Because when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, that is so adorable. I really did. I squealed. I sent it to the mister. And he was like, did you know you sent me something about a bag? I know, dude. I had to send it to you so that it would lock it in place and I can get back to it because I am going to Hobby Lobby to get this bandana fabric and then wound up sick and couldn't even do the darn project. So, and this is gonna be probably like the messiest closure ever, but I got to because I'm over it. I'm ready to be done because my feet are hurting. Okay, so I'm gonna press this close. Do 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 do, and that's all it takes, just like that. And so now my bag is shut. Too much shut, but it is shut. And there's our bag, y'all. Holler. Look, it's super cute. Well, you technically can't see it. But you see how that's kind of like flopping in right here? Top stitching will take care of all of that. It'll clean and neaten this right on up. If I wasn't out of bobbin, and if you know what, black would be perfect. If I had black bobbin and black thread, I totally would top stitch this right now. But that's going to involve me winding up bobbin and threading my machine with black thread, and yeah, all of the above. And I'm not feeling that right now. I'm sure I will though. Before all is said and done, to polish and finish this off, I'm probably going to do that. So look, how do you like it? Hopefully the directions were nice and clear. Hopefully, because the preset square bandanas, the squares already being the size that they are perfect for this bag, it makes it so easy, y'all. And like I said, even if this doesn't wind up super straight, or even if this doesn't wind up super straight, it doesn't matter. This is one of those forgivable, for really forgiving type of projects where even if you mess up, it's really not going to be that bad. And for like Shay Shay was talking about putting her name on it, you totally could embroider right in here with the lining on there. Well, actually, I would embroider it before you put the lining in, and that way the back of the embroidery doesn't show. Think about it. I'm just telling you, there's so many different ways to spin this, and personalize it and make it your own. But just the bandana part of it is what sold it for me. Let me show you the last set of fabric that I have. This is the last 3 bandana pieces that I have. I got dark purple, I got light purple, and I got black. And I know this is going to be amazing. So this is going to be super pretty. Quilting it would be super pretty. Um, Deborah, I would love to see one of these quilted out. Yeah, teenagers would like the bandana ones. But this would be gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So I'm excited to do another one with these colors. So I have this one now, and then I have this one with the red, the floral, and the navy bandana. And as you see how my stuff is kind of floppy and a little bit messy or whatever because I didn't press out seams and stuff. I didn't press it any. And this one again doesn't have the lining, and my handles are one square longer than that bag. So, but like I said, I just tossed it together, man. It's just something simple that you can put together and have a really cute bag, y'all. I just couldn't help it. Now, like I said, I got another sewing project. I'm gonna collaborate with an expert on, and then we're going to do that on the sewing machine. Then we also have our crop top hoodies that we're supposed to be doing at some point, hopefully some point soon in the future, because it's getting colder and the tummy can't be out when it's cold. So that's coming up. And so I'm looking forward to doing more sewing projects with you guys, including our embroidery um that we do. But this was super. I had to share this. So thank you, Martha. Oh, Vanessa, yas, fam. Definitely. They had them at Hobby Lobby. Now I would love to see what Amazon, how many bandana type, like a whole pack of bandanas on Amazon, probably. I wonder if they have that. Bandana, yes. So if you go down the aisle with hats and shoes, where you can press vinyl on hats and vinyl on shoes and stuff like that. The bandanas are down that aisle on in my Hobby Lobby on the right hand side, and most Hobby Lobbies are set up the same. So if you side out on the dress, right, crap and shay shay. I'm just saying. We did crop the first time. We gonna have to crop again. I'm just saying. So the bandanas are already in squares. They have them folded, and they are all colors out there on the rack at Hobby Lobby. Let me see if I got that video. I'm gonna come over here to this camera actually, so I can sit down because I'm done with the sewing. So let's go here, and I'm gonna check my camera because I meant to film that. But see, this is the shorter handle than what I showed y'all earlier. So you remember the handle was like this much lower. And so the bag was hanging that much lower. But this is, oh, look at that. Oh my God. Y'all, that's super cute. I love this. I'm so glad I went on and brought, because I wasn't going to get the neon, but I'm like, that neon is going to be super cute. And I was going to just stick with two, but I was like, I need practice. And so the rose and this is so cute, y'all. Like, I totally could go to the library or go to the grocery store, grab a couple of things. This is cute. I like this project. I'm super excited about that. I love the neon. Love the neon. Let me see if I meant to take a video of that. All of those bandanas, and I was like, oh, y'all, I need to show this to them. It don't make no sense, y'all, how I be out doing stuff and I'll see stuff and I'll be like, oh, I need to show this to them. And I get to film and stuff. And do I get to show it to you? No. I usually forget. It's the hospital. No, I don't think no, that's Dallas. I don't think I filmed it. I don't think I filmed it. But there were so many pretty colors on the aisle in Hobby Lobby. And I was like, oh man, they got to see this. So yeah, if somebody goes tomorrow, take a picture and post it so that, excuse me, everybody can see. Yeah, I don't have it. I just knew I filmed that. Mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Oh shoot, there is another project I'm trying to do with y'all too. Another sewing project, sewing sublimation project. But I may wait. I'm gonna have to wait on that one because part of the project I want to do at Bling Fest. So, oh wait a minute, what is this? Is that the video? No, that's just a picture. That's when I was at Hobby Lobby though. Oh, I know why. This is when I was at Hobby Lobby and got the when was this? This was August the 15th. August the 15th. And I'm gonna tell you why. Look why I took that picture. There's one person in here that knows why I took that picture. And I was gonna show it to her. Vanessa, it is not super hard. It really isn't. We just gotta the main thing is learning to thread the machine and just going with it. You bought another one today. I saw them boxes Shay Shay had, and I was like, "Oh, those boxes are super cute. I love them boxes." And then when I was like, "Them boxes right there." That was when I got the bandanas that day. That's how long ago I done had these dumb darn bandanas. Okay. So, anyways, y'all, thank you. I appreciate y'all for coming to hang out with me tonight. It was fun. It was not planned. I was just in the mood. It was a good day. Hung out with the hubby today and got a lot of things done. And so I was like, you know what? I want to take time for me to do something I want to do, and I wanted to do this, and so this is what we did. So yes, I'm excited. All right, y'all. So thank you. You did inspire me to buy some because I bought them bandanas that day. So yeah, if you want to do some more sewing tutorial type stuff, we can. Because this is the other thing. If you have an embroidery machine, you know, the 4x4 embroidery machine or even the 5x7 embroidery machine, my brother, and it says SE, it is a sewing machine too. So even if you don't want to necessarily use it as a sewing machine, or even if it's not set up right now as a sewing machine, it could be changed into a sewing machine. But the model number has to have SE in front of the number of the model number. Otherwise, sewing machines, Walmart, you don't have to have anything super expensive. This is if you want to. I'm not getting no kickback or nothing by telling you this is if somebody wants to learn how to sew. Just a little simple sewing machine can totally do this project. And we can easily go through some steps to show how to thread. We could talk about some techniques. I could get up with Unbiased, and we could all do this together. Unbiased is excellent with her sewing. Quite a few folks actually. Miss Barb sews, um, Chris Smith Calavo sews, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure she sews. There's a lot of folks in here that sew, and we could put something together and work together to teach each other for those that want to learn how to sew. And walk some stuff through step by step because I absolutely do love sewing. That's the story I was going to tell earlier. I want to say I would have to look at pictures because I am not good at remembering dates. But what I do know is it was prior to her getting sick. So that was, I've been here 4 years. I was there 8 years. 8 years. So what's that? 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 12 years. And then, because she taught me when I had to live with her briefly. So, gosh, that's been almost 20 years ago that a friend of mine, very dear friend of mine, was doing upholstery. And she taught me how to sew on an old Texo industrial sewing machine. Matter of fact, she wants to give me that machine, has been wanting to give me that machine, but I don't have anywhere to put it. I would love to have that machine for memory's sake, unfortunately. But at any rate, an old tack sewing machine, and she taught me how to sew. I learned how to do pillows. That's how I know about gussets and stuff because we were reupholstering couches and chairs and doing gussets. And she did window treatments, and I learned about jabots and swags and all of that jazz. She taught me all of that, and I learned how to follow a sewing pattern to make that kind of stuff. And so I learned how to make tote bags from the sewing patterns, but I could never figure out clothes because clothing had interfacing and it had darts and the swags and some of the window treatments had darts too, but it had all kind of stuff that was completely different from the decor arena. So decor is where I learned how to sew and learn how to get into doing that type stuff. So bags and tote bags and pillows and blankets and um window treatments, all of that was my foundation. And she doesn't do any of that now. Unfortunately, she can't. She's very ill now. But I learned all of that. My love of sewing came from her. And that sewing machine, her husband still does work in a school system. And all of those years ago, the school system in their area still had sewing classes or had sewing classes. So when they shut down the sewing program, they got rid of all the sewing machines and was throwing them away. And so he brought me that sewing machine. And that was a classroom sewing machine. And that thing can sew through just about anything. I love that sewing machine. And so his wife's name is Nancy. And so I named that sewing machine Nancy after her. But that's how I learned sewing. Was thrown right into it because I was helping her. And so just a lot of really fond memories behind sewing. And then I got out of sewing for a few years when I moved and then tried to get back into sewing. But when I got back into sewing, I was doing window treatments again. I had made a pet bed for my dog, just that kind of stuff. And then stopped sewing again, moved again, actually moved a couple of times until I moved into my prior house. And I just wanted to sew again. And that's when I was browsing through the Black Friday ad one day and came across that embroidery machine, and the rest is history. And that was, like I said, roughly 8, 9 years ago that I got that first embroidery machine and started making baby stuff because I had been sewing before. Making the baby stuff was easy because it wasn't clothing, it was blankets and bibs and that kind of stuff. So it was easy to do. Still can't sew clothes. Still cannot sew clothes to save my life. One of these, well, I'm saying that, but I did the hoodie. I did the crop hoodie. So this is my learning how to do clothing, but I'm not. I don't claim to know how to sew clothing. I really don't, because it's a lot more complicated than this type stuff. So at any rate, that's how I got into it, and I love it. I love sewing. That was the foundation. And so I'm hoping to continue to do more sewing, more embroidery, of course the bling, because I'm still gonna be my blingy girl self. I love bling. But just trying to also reincorporate some of the original roots of embroidery that we started out with, and sewing, because I was sewing the baby bibs when I first started too. So at any rate, here's the bag. So thank y'all for hanging out with me and listening to me go on a rant, not rant, but on a story time off of something that y'all didn't sign up for. And I look forward to seeing y'all's bandana bags. And if you want to do this again, let me know in the Facebook group when like if we want to do this again together and make one. Ooh, and I can show y'all how to put pockets on. Pockets are easy. We could put a pocket on the inside of that. And I mean, there's all kind of ways we can spin this bag, y'all. It's actually pretty cool what all we can do. So let me know. Tote bags are like my jam. I love bags. So used to sew for the public, but stop. I can't sew for the public, child. I'd be ready to fight somebody. I want to learn more clothing making. Well, ooh, ooh, ooh. I wish I could sew clothes. I don't have the patience. I don't have the patience. I don't have the patience for clothing. I swear I don't. Because when you got to do interfacing and it's so many different little pieces, and you got to cut out all them many different pieces, and they got to be cut out just so and da 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 da. Bag. You saw what I did. Square, 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 and I'm done. I'm just saying, square, 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 square. I mean, you can't get no more complicated than that. I'm just saying, it's easy. So, yeah. Yep, 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 yep. So, thank y'all again. I appreciate you. Thank you so very much for coming to hang out with me for a little bit. It was fun. It was 2 hours, 16 minutes longer than I intended. But I'm going to go back into my video game, go play some Sudoku. Holler. That's my Zen time. So you guys have a great evening and I enjoyed it. And until the next time we see you, we hope you have happy sewing. We might as well just say happy stitching because at this point we stitching. We stitching embroidery, we stitching sewing, so it's all stitching. So happy stitching. Love y'all. Y'all have a good night. Bye.